In this video, we're going to give you an overview of the installation of our Blackout Module on this 2018 Silverado. The Blackout Module is popular with law enforcement as it allows them to use the vehicle at low speeds and not be noticed, especially in an evening environment where it's dark outside. So we're shutting off the brake lights, the backup lights, and so on, allows them to operate the vehicle that way. This is the Blackout Module kit as it comes from InterMotive. The main part of the kit is the module itself. This is a computer-controlled module, and it interfaces to the vehicle a couple of ways. It interfaces over the OBD2 connector, so it's got this data link harness, and it also interfaces with the body control module of the vehicle via these wires. There's also a enable disable button that's part of the kit that puts you into blackout mode. Okay, we're going to pull off this lower dash panel so we can get access to the body control module. It's held on by two screws down here at the bottom. These are Allen heads, 3/32. So we've got those taken out, and now it's just a matter of popping this panel off. So this is the left-hand instrument panel junction box. It's got two tabs on the right-hand side and then one tab on the left-hand side, and it just pops off and comes off. And so we need to pull this cover off and get access to the connectors that are inside here. I've got our harness with the relay here, and coming off of it, it's got a red loomed wire going up. You can see this wire has been pressed onto pin 11 right here. Now on SSV vehicles, Tahoe and Silverado, they will actually have a connector like this plugged in here, but this is a non-SSV, but it doesn't matter. We can set it up just fine. So on the non-SSV, we press it right onto the pin. In this case, we're on a Silverado and it's pin 11. On a Tahoe, it's a different pin number, but you can look on the instructions and see that. We pressed this on here, and then we brought it up and we cable tied it up above to give it some strain relief so it's not going anywhere. And so that gets us power for our external relay. Okay, so we're going to make a couple of connections to the body control module that I'm pointing to. It's right above the park brake, and we need to make connections to the two leftmost connectors. So these two stub harnesses we're going to connect to the body control module wiring. The body control module controls the lights on the vehicle. There are three brake light circuits, one for the left, one for the right, and one for the high center brake light. And then there's a fourth circuit that controls the backup lights. So we're going to cut those wires as they come out of the body control module on their way to the back of the vehicle, and we're going to insert these harnesses in there. So our striped wires go to the body control module side. The solid color go to the taillight side. These harnesses then, of course, plug into our harness on our module and allow us to interrupt those light circuits when we're in blackout mode. So we've made one connection already with this brown wire with a green tracer, and we cut the wire coming out of the BCM, the fourth connector over from the left, a wire of the same color, and we've cut it about 2 to 3 inches away from the BCM connector, and we have soldered our own wire into that. The other side of the wire, the part that goes to the harness on the vehicle, is hooked up over here on this one. You can see that goes into the harness there. So we're dealing with brake light circuits here. Brakes are really a safety device, so we want to have a good, reliable connection. So we strip, twist these wires, and we solder them, and then we heat shrink them. So we're going to go along on all 4 of these wires. We're going to cut the BCM wires. We're going to solder our own wires into that. We've installed all 4 wires. These go back to the taillights on the vehicle, so these are the other half of the 4 wires, the chassis side we call them, and this is the BCM side. We've plugged these into the BOM 620 harness. Alright, so we're going to unplug this second harness, and we're going to install another pin on it. These connectors, you can unplug them when you're doing this work, and they have a little tab towards the front of the vehicle. I can pinch that tab and get the connector out. So now we're going to install one wire into one of these cavities, and that helps us control the lights on the vehicle. Before we insert our wire into the cavity in this connector, there's a little clip that we need to push down. It's a retaining mechanism. And if you look closely, you can see that move down, that part right there. And you want that in the down position before you try and insert the pin into the cavity. And then once we get it in and seated all the way, we'll push that back up, and that locks the pin in the connector housing. We're going to insert the pin into the connector housing with that crimp facing the back of the vehicle. And you want to do this with the connector unplugged. It makes it easier. And try and get it all the way in and give it a little tug to make sure it's clicked in there. And then go ahead and insert the connector into its mating location. This is our blackout mode enable button that we're going to connect. Now, in a normal installation, you would want to pick a location and drill a 5/8 inch hole for this. We recommend that you mount the button to the left of the steering wheel so that the driver is able to push it while starting the vehicle. In this particular case, we're not going to install it, but we will connect it up. This particular connector, 4-pin connector on the module, takes the pink wire into cavity 2, and so they're numbered 1, 2, 3, 4 with this tab facing down. So I'm going to install this, and this has a little tab on it. I don't know if you can see that, but we're going to install it in here, and then we tug on it, make sure we've got it. Yes, we've got it in there. So then I'll install this here into the module and hear that click. This black side is going to go into this 16-pin connector that's going to mate here, and I'm going to put this into cavity number 3, and that's in there real good, so I'll go ahead and plug that in. Okay, we will plug in our 4-pin connector over here, and we've got another 4-pin connector here. And we've pretty much got everything installed with the exception of our OBD2 connector. Okay, so to install the OBD2 connector, our harness, we are going to remove this one here with 2 screws and replace it with ours. Here you can see we've installed our OBD harness. So this is the InterMotive OBD, and we've mated it here with the OEM OBD. We put a cable tie on there so that it doesn't come apart, and when we're completely done with the installation, we'll tie this up there to keep it out of the way. The 6-pin end here will mate with our module here. At that point, we've got our module plugged in and it's powered up. You can see some LEDs flashing here, and it's waiting to identify the vehicle. So if we key up the vehicle, the CAN network will start and the module will recognize the vehicle. We're getting ready to install the module itself, and typically upfitters will install it up here somewhere. You can just pick a spot. Some people cable tie it. Sometimes they'll use double back Velcro, something like that, and just put it up here and make sure it's out of the way of the tilt steering, out of the way of any, park brake mechanism and so on. When we get the unit completely installed, we just want to make sure it's working, but I'm going to demonstrate it for you. So when I push the button, I'm putting the module into blackout mode, and you'll be able to see the instrument cluster go dark. So there we go. If we look at the dome lights up above, we'll see when I push the button again, everything comes back on, so I've come out of blackout mode. So once you get the thing installed, that's a real easy way to see that it's working. You should also go on the front of the vehicle and the back of the vehicle and make sure the lights are going off there as well when the button is pushed.
For more information, call us at 1-800-969-6080. Thanks for watching.